Alright guys, welcome back. I'm going to open up my project again and we're going to take a look at what we did last week and where to go from there. Tinker this. Alright. So, last week we started working on this Hylian shield, and you might be thinking, Cara, we worked on the outline of the Hylian shield the entire time last week. What are we gonna do now? And the answer to that is we are gonna pick this up, move it to the side, and pretend it's not there. I'm kind of realizing, looking at it right now, that I have the right shape that I want, which is good, but I don't think I have enough room for all the fine details just yet. We still have to do the red bird at the bottom, we have to do the triforce, and a little bit of the metal intricate squiggly design on the side. So I'm thinking I'm gonna keep this as like a base and kind of like, maybe not a base, but like an outline, or think of it as like a sketch, if you will. And I'm gonna move it over, and then we might take it apart, we might expand it. We'll see where we're at, but I'm thinking it might be best to work on the details first, and then figure out like the outline and the shape of the shield. I suspect that it's gonna come out pretty large. It might even go over the work plane, which is fine. We'll see what we get to, and we'll see what we're gonna do with this later. So I'm gonna go ahead and first I'm gonna move my little color palette I made over here. Move this over there. And then I'm gonna move this over here. We're gonna try that again. We're gonna move this over here. There we go. Alright, so I'm thinking that we're gonna start with the triforce, which is essentially 3 yellow triangle shapes that are kind of like stacked, one on top, and then one to the side, and the other to the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and first I'm gonna click on my yellow box over there, and we're gonna make some copies. Last one. So, focus. I think that's a good point to work. And I'm gonna work on the first triangle. So I'm thinking something like this. This. So for pixel art, alignment is very important, because you're essentially working with these little boxes or pixels, and if they're not lined up correctly, then it can just throw everything off. But since we're essentially working with the same size shape over and over again, alignment is key. Because if you, say, overlap a little, it might still look okay from a distance, but then the other side isn't going to be equal. If I move this over here, then it's just gonna throw everything off, and then when I go to put my shield all together, because the way I'm working right now is I'm essentially kind of making it into like little puzzle pieces that I'm gonna fit together later. So I'm working on the first little chunk of puzzle pieces with the triforce, and then I'm gonna put that together with the overall thing, and ideally we're gonna have the skeleton, and we're gonna just fill in the missing pieces in that skeleton. And if the alignment is slightly off even in one spot, then it's all not gonna fit correctly, and then we might have to move around every little pixel, and I really don't want to do that. So we're gonna try to get it right the first time. I think I want to do another row of 4 to make this triangle. I think that'll look a little better. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of reminded me of the that commercial for Tootsie Pops. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? 1, 2, 3, and then the owl like bites it. And just the way I was counting kind of reminded me of that. Good stuff, you know. Might have to make another copy. Yeah. Yep, that was the last one. Oop. Okay. Focus in here. Just make sure everything is looking good. Everything is lined up the way I want. Perfect. Alright, so yeah, looking at my first triangle compared to my skeleton of my Hylian shield, I could already tell that this is gonna be a pretty big design. Like, I've only done 1/3 of the triforce so far. So when I do the other parts of the triforce, that's already like 50% of the shield that I've done already. So I can already tell that I made the outline too small. So as long as we have the shape, we at least know what we're working with. And it's just a matter of just adding a couple more pixels to like the sides. Maybe instead of like three pixels at the top to create the tip of the Hylian shield, maybe it'll be like a row of 5 instead and just elongate it that way. We'll see, but like I already pretty much know that it's gonna go off the work plan at this point, so I'm actually really excited to see how it's gonna look. Alright, so now that I have the first part of the triforce, I'm thinking that I can copy this part and just make 2 copies of it and just move them around, and then triforce is done. Let's see. Okay, gonna copy. Oh, yes, perfect. Okay. I'm just gonna move this all over. Okay. It's already looking very triforce-y. I like it. Now I'm gonna... Let's copy this one again. Nice. Creating and hydrating. Alright, so I've got the Triforce done. And I can't remember. I had a reference picture before. I thought I uploaded it again. But we'll just do a quick Google search. Yeah, I think this was the one. It was either this one or this one that we had. They're roughly the same in terms of colors. I know we talked last week about some depictions of the Hylian shield are a little bit different depending on what game it's referencing. Like the darker one over here, for example, the more like rustic and worn out one, I'm pretty sure that one is from Twilight Princess, just judging by the color palettes and everything. Looking down. Ooh, that one's really pretty. Someone made a stained glass version of the Hylian shield, and that's so cool. I have a friend from college, actually, who is experimenting with a lot of different mediums with art, they're very into screen printing. They do a lot of stained glass work. And this reminds me of something that she would probably do. I gotta show this to her later. Oh, nice. Someone actually made like a replica of it for cosplay purposes, and it's wow. I wish I had the skill and the time and the patience to do that. But right now I'm getting distracted. Picture time. So I think this is a good reference picture based on what I'm doing, and I have my triforce done. I think now I'm gonna start doing that gray little etching next to it, and then we'll work on the bird. Alright. So let's see. We already have some gray pixels over here, because looking at the picture, this little etching work over here is the same color as the metal on the sides of the shield. So I'm just gonna draw my copies from these pixels that I already have generated. So I'm gonna just focus on this for a second. That. Okay, I think that's a good distance. Make some copies. Say, how close is this? Alright, so it's like meeting, like, not on the point of the triforce, but it's kind of like along that. So I think first I'm gonna, there we go, now I could see it a little better. Don't tell me what to do, music. I don't know if I want it touching? No, because it's not really touching. I think over here is a good distance. So it kind of goes upwards a little bit, and then diagonally, 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 straight to the left, and then a little diagonally up, and then diagonally back to the right a little. Okay. So, so I'm thinking, and dig it. Then I want to focus on this one because I want to also add to the other side, and I want to make sure I have like an even view of both so I can line them up. So copy that, and then move it over here, and I'd say it's more or less right there. And I can just copy two here. Yeah, that looks about the same. Just want to make sure the touching. Nope. Little itty bitty gap. So I'm good. Ooh. These. Perfect. I want them touching but not overlapping. Okay. Back on the other side. That looks good. Focus over here, zoom out a little. Okay, it's coming along. Let me take a look at the picture again. Alright, so now we're gonna start going diagonally to the left a little bit. So I'm gonna copy this. Perfect. Okay. Gonna go diagonal to the right. Oh wow, it put it in the spot that I wanted it to go to. And it's lined up correctly. Thank you, tinkercad. Now it's gonna go back diagonally to the left, but a little bit longer. So now I'm gonna focus here, zoom out. Ah, tinkercad. Not that time, but close. Appreciate the effort. Okay, 1, 2, 3. There is some blue space in between the etching and the triforce, so I'm thinking these cubes are too close together. Alright, so here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna move those, and then I'm gonna start filling just around the triforce, just so I know that there's a little bit of the blue going around it, and that'll help me with my placement a little bit better. So I'm just gonna start making my copies. This color. Actually, do I want that shade of blue? I think I like this dark blue a little bit better. I know in my reference picture it's more of like a bright blue, but like it's still like not as light as the one that I originally had, and I think this one would go better with the color palette that I'm working with. So I'm just gonna start making some copies of this and then move them around. That was my last one. Ooh, that looks nice against the yellow. I do like that a lot. Nice. Okay. I do like that. I think this was the better choice. A little bit just so I can see the gaps better. Yeah, like see, like it looked fine from where I was originally, but I can see that little space that we don't want. I can just draw my copies from here instead. I am really excited to see how this is gonna look. I'll get rid of that. Alright, I'm starting to visualize a little bit better, and I think that the beginning of that gray etching will go on top of this blue one. Okay, I could see it better now. Focus. Oh, thank you. I want it. Move this one. Okay, looking good. Okay, there is a lot of space between the bird and the triforce. I love this part of the music 'cause it's so like relaxing to just like sit and just like groove to it as you're working. Ah, that was actually pretty easy. This is probably my favorite part of the song overall right here. Alright. Oh, that looks so good. Okay. Now I'm in a little bit. There we go. Hmm. There we go. That's better. Alright. I am digging it, guys. I can't wait. Can't wait. Okay. And then it was diagonal that way, that way. Alrighty. But I gotta zoom in more. Yeah, curse this mouse that's so sensitive. This yep. Doing it a little bit differently than what I was doing before. Not terribly so, but I'm thinking that instead of, I think I had it go more outwards this way and then go diagonal this way shorter and then go this way a little bit longer. I just shortened this first diagonal to the left, and then I really shortened this one. And I'm gonna see how that looks. Because looking at my reference picture, goes to the bottom of the triforce. Does it go all the way to the bottom? Actually goes a little bit past the triforce. I might have to make it a little bit longer. Alright. So, thinking. Put that one there. Put this one here. How close does... Okay. Put this one here. No, I don't like that. That one there. Just gonna fix spacing. Spacing right on that one. How about up here? That'll look good. Alright. Stretch it out a little. Okay. Then it's gonna curve up a little. It goes close to the top, but not quite as high. Alright. Before I do that, I think I'm gonna start filling in the blue spots over here just so I can visualize it a little bit better. So I made 3 copies of that. I'll probably forget that later. It's coming together. Nice. Okay. Now, do I want to do this side or do I want to keep doing this? I see something. Don't know if this is gonna work. Try it. Copy that. And now, is this the one that no. This is the one that that first. Nope, nope, nope. The other. Where's the other bendy? There we go. Oh. Round 1. Fight. Not do that. What I get. Okay. Let's try that again. Okay. No. Alright, last time. Yay. Oh, no. Wait. 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 Why? It's like the music is laughing at me. Okay, last time, for real. We're gonna copy. We're gonna take the copy out. Gonna do an old switcheroo, maybe. Yes, okay. So maybe this will work? Question mark. Yes. Okay. I dig it. Still laughing at it. That's fine. I like how this design is already like half of the shield that I did last week. Okay. Let's see. How are we on time? I'm debating if I want to at least finish up that one side or wait until next week. I think I'm gonna at least do a little bit of the bird, and then I think I'll call it there. So let me make a couple of copies of my good old red cube over here. Why are you doing that, tinkercad? Okay. Probably should have counted how many copies I did, but I didn't. And I should be good. For now. So. Bird head is basically a triangle shape. It's gonna be extremely hard to get those little like details where like the feathers are on the outside of the head at the bottom over here. So I'm basically just gonna make a triangle shape with pixels, have it go 1 pixel down for the neck, and make a bigger triangle for like the body. And then I'm gonna do like some diagonal cubes curving this way for the wings. And I think that would probably be the best way to approach it. Yeah, as I kind of figured from when I was doing Sailor Moon's Compact, I don't want to get too hung up on making it look exactly the same, because the mediums are totally different. You know, I'm working with basically cubes, so it's really hard to get like an organic curve shape of like details on a feather with what we're working with. So I'm gonna make it look aesthetically pleasing based on what we're doing, rather than pulling my hair out trying to make it look exactly like the reference picture. Alright, so I think that's a good head shape. Maybe... nah. Have that go down. And then I'll make this one... go out a little bit more. This one be... there we go. Probably zoom it a little just so I can see a little bit better. Okay. That's a good bird bod. And then the tail is just boop. Copy of this. Alright. Alright, so I'm starting to visualize the whole thing a little more, and I'm really digging the color scheme. I didn't anticipate working this large, but low-key loving it, so I'm just gonna kind of work at it through different sections, and then at the end we're gonna put them all together. So next week we will finish up the bird. We'll fill in all of the blue pixels, and then we will work on the outline. We have the basic shape, but again, we're gonna definitely have to add to it to make it be able to accommodate the large details that we worked on today. So with that said, I'm gonna leave it alone, and this way it'll give us another week to take a step back and look at it with fresh eyes, and we can add things, take away things as we go. But so far I'm really excited for how this is coming along. So if you guys haven't done so already, please check out some of our other videos on our channel. All the instructors work really hard in the create and hangs, and I would really appreciate it if you guys check them out. They're doing phenomenal work and you're gonna love it. Again, as always, shout out to Nick for being a great moderator and engineer, and tune in next time. So let me just, before I go, I'm just gonna double check something real quick. Hit the tinkercad logo. Probably should have done this before I gave that whole spiel, but it's fine. Alright, so it's there. Alright, I think we're good. Alright, this is Cara, and I'll see you next time.